Hi friends, my name is Mackenzie, also known as Emtothethird, and today we're trying something new. And I'm going to talk to you about some thoughts I've been having about my business and this YouTube channel and see what y'all think. But before we get into that, let me tell you a little bit about where this idea came from and what you're looking at. So despite the fact that the weather isn't really matching my autumnal vibes here in Oregon today, I'm definitely in the fall mood. This is the first week of September, and so I've been thinking a lot about getting my coats on, doing some fall vibe things. And so I saw this TikTok where someone spotted in this Michaels ad this crescent moon moth forest witch wreath thing. I was like, well, it would be fun to have a fall autumn wreath moment. I've never made a wreath, and so I started looking on Etsy just for inspiration, and yeah, I want to call them old lady wreaths, but I think that's offensive to old ladies, and I know that age doesn't necessarily mean that your taste is bad. So I don't think it's fair to say that it's an old lady wreath. It feels very 90s soccer mom. I don't know, you guys. It's just...
There's a lot of bad wreaths out there.
So I was having this conversation with my mom where I was like, well, I want to make a cute wreath. And I was like, with knitting, which is my primary hobby, people are always like, well, how many sweaters can you have? How many skeins of yarn can you have? But really, how many wreaths can you have? So my mom was like, well, some people have 12. And I was like, what, do they have it over their bathroom? Do they have one in every door in their house? And she was like, for the front door, for every month of the year. But it's still, I think that it must be someone's hobby to make wreaths. And if that is you, I would love to hear from you. Why do you like making wreaths? I don't know if I like making them because I have never made one. But that's my plan, is to have this series of videos where we can have a chat and hang out, and I can try some new crafts in the world of crafty stuff. So I was at Michaels, definitely not shopping for Halloween stuff, preemptively, and they were having a sale, because don't buy anything at Michaels that's not on sale, for their foliage. So I've got a bunch of different types of foliage, sorry for the crinkling. Here, I've got these funny pumpkins on a branch. And then I also have some pumpkins that I crocheted. And then I have some real pumpkins. And then you could buy a bag of pine cones at Michael's, but I could also just go into my yard and pick up a bunch of pine cones, so that's what I did. And then I also actually have this jar of alder cones that a friend of mine has been collecting for me, because you can use them in natural dyeing. I haven't done much research about it. That's sort of next on my list, but I thought these would also be kind of cute to include, possibly. So, yeah, I mean, there are some cute wreaths out there, don't get me wrong. Etsy is a mix of, spells and, wreath. I don't know. There's good wreaths and bad wreaths, I guess. But anyway, so these are some of my, inspo picks. So, I don't know, you guys. We'll kind of see how this goes. I'm going to kind of narrate what I'm doing, but to be honest, I don't really know what I'm doing. So this is not a tutorial. This is just me gluing shit to stuff. So I do have, for tools, I have a hot glue gun, lots of glue. I've got this floral wire, which I remember like at the beginning of the pandemic, a lot of people were buying to add nose like wires to their masks. So, oh, I guess one of these fell off. Oh no. Okay, well, oh boy. Okay, anyway, I've got floral wire, I've got scissors, and I've got like wire cutters and wire like benders. So hopefully that's kind of what I need. We'll see. So I did, oh, and I have this hoop, which I'm gonna like put everything on. So I am kind of excited about the idea of this series, and I have a couple of ideas for like the names. Sorry, I'm gonna try not to like crinkle so much. I did have some ideas for like what the name of the series could be, like, you know, because I'd be trying different crafts, like, and chatting while I do it. So like chisme crafts, which is like gossip in Spanish. If someone is a chismosa, they're like a gossiper. But I also thought like, I don't know, like granny punks is kind of my like vibe generally. I don't know. So if you have any ideas, you should definitely leave a comment down below, because whoever's idea I ended up going with, the first person to get it will get a little gifty. So yeah, it's kind of like a contest to name this new series, and we'll see how that goes. These are cool. They're like all connected. So like some of them, like these are real, they're dried. And then these are fake. And they came with this ribbon, which maybe I'll be able to use later. And they're like, there's different ways that these things are all connected together. So like this one is just one stem, and then this is like, I don't know. Yeah, okay. But I feel like I should start with something like big to kind of like give it, I don't know, weight? Okay, alright. We're getting somewhere. So largely, like, part of where this idea is coming from is like, I've been thinking about how my mom watched so much Martha Stewart when I was a kid, and it was like always on, and you know, there was a lot, like we had like the person to go to when we needed help with something. I don't feel like that is the case at this point. Like, you know, if I don't know how to, I don't know, clean my bathtub, there's not like someone that I will go to. Now I know there's some people like on TikTok who are like kind of getting popular with, you know, advice on how to clean stuff and how to fix stuff, which I do love, because it's not like an older white lady. So like Amaro's Cleaning and Mercury, the trans handyman and stuff, but I was just kind of thinking like, what to me would like a millennial Martha Stewart look like, and do we need one is also a good question. But just thinking about like radical domesticity, which is like a phrase that I really love that I learned from a zine, and like being a granny punk and being radical but still like really caring about home, and I don't know. So these are just some things I've been sort of pondering, and yeah, I don't know. I don't totally know, but you know, I have like my sort of craft, which is which is fiber arts and knitting, but there's some things that I want to try, but a lot of the times I convince myself out of it because I don't want to like buy all of the materials because I already have like a lot of yarn. But yeah, maybe this will be a chance for me to kind of try it and see where I end up. So if you do watch my knitting podcast, you know that I'm like a big fan of purple and orange right now. This is kind of more red, but I liked these kind of together. But it doesn't feel super fall-y looking at it like this, so I don't know. Also, I think I'm gonna start with like securing things with this wire and then see how I can like double secure it with the hot glue gun. The other thing that I've been thinking about a lot is like I have this little business where I naturally dye stuff, but in the last year or so I've started doing illustrations and putting them on different products and like making sticker sheets and selling those. And since moving here and sort of needing to figure out how to, you know, have it be more consistently stable, I have started doing illustration commissions, and my first month of doing that was just like so lovely and fulfilling, and like I loved everyone who I worked with, which is largely people in the knitting world. And so it sort of made me think like, you know, I know that and I knew going in that the natural, like the indie dyed yarn world has just really exploded, and I think that that's a really awesome thing. And I think, like, you know, I have been thinking about like, well, what makes my stuff unique, and like, is the labor worth it for me when I could be doing like illustrations or this making YouTube videos, which I've really enjoyed doing as well. And I, you know, recently put out a video about like my fall wardrobe and sort of outfit planning, and some of the other things that I've really wanted to spend time doing are knitwear designs, and I just like haven't felt like I could focus on that. And, you know, what I would love to do is do knitwear designs and promote other small, you know, indie dyers with the designs, especially like BIPOC dyers. And so I thought maybe like we just, like, all of you who have been following me for a while know that my partner and I just moved across the country. We're kind of getting our bearings. And I thought that our basement would be very easy to set up into a dye studio. And I still do believe that that's possible. We are in a rental house, you know, so there are like limitations, but I just haven't felt the like desire to do it. And like maybe what I should focus on is not that. So I don't know exactly what that ends up looking like. Like I really do, I love doing YouTube, and it's quite a time commitment. Those of you who also do podcasting or make other YouTube videos, like definitely get it. So I don't know that that's like exactly, I don't want that to be the only thing that I do, but like it would be nice to have a chance to focus on it and kind of make more like entertainment kind of stuff. You know, that's a little bit different than just the knitting podcast. Although I really still love sharing all my knitting with you, but I want to do like fun knitting stuff, you know, like kind of like this, where I'm like talking and knitting and, you know, showing you the progress on something. Okay, you know what? It doesn't look terrible. It's not great yet, but we'll fill it out, you know? So yeah, I'm just kind of trying to see like how that would go over, and like kind of just trying to be like open to what comes my way. But I would also love to do more collabs with people, whether those are knitting podcasters or not. And I don't know. We'll see what happens, but oh my god, this is like so fiddly. Okay, alright. Also on Instagram earlier this week, I'll make a reel about it, but Kay and I have been using the Cricut that my mom gave us, and it's so funny because, like, as someone who grew up with my mom in particular, who is like a scrapbooker and sort of doing like I don't even know, like she makes like decor, like paper crafting kind of stuff. And but I feel like that like limits what she can actually do. She like sews, and you know, she just does all sorts of stuff. But she was like, I remember she got the Cricut like when it came out when I was a kid. I have no idea how long ago that was, but it was, you know, I was very, very young when it happened. And so I forget that like fiber, like not all fiber craft people like know what a Cricut is. And so I like posted, you know, a little series of stories because Kay and I were working on a DIY project that's also like autumnal. And people were like, what is that machine? And like, not only that, but we also we also had them at the library that I worked at, and a lot of like libraries that have maker spaces have Cricuts at this point. So again, I sort of forget that there are people who like aren't around them. So a ton of my knitting friends were like, what the hell is that thing? And ow. So I got to show them what a Cricut is and tell them about it, and then make a cool placemat, which is going to sort of like bring all of these things together. Hi, this is Editing Mackenzie. So I realized as I'm editing this that like 65 to 70% of the footage that I shot from overhead, which is with my better camera, is out of focus. So I'm kind of just gonna keep going. I'm sorry if it's boring. I learned my lesson, and I don't know, hopefully the next one will be better. Okay. Because it's like fall vibes, Kay and I always like, well, not always, last year, I think because it was like the pandemic and there wasn't a lot to do, there was even less to do than there is right now. And for some reason, horror movies just felt very comforting. I don't know, it's like, it felt like it's worse than, it felt like the horror movie was like the only thing that we could think of that was like worse than the state of the world, which is not very comforting, but there you have it. So, you know, we were watching a lot of horror movies. We'd also gotten really into this podcast that talked about like queer characters in horror, and so we watched like a bunch of like queer coded Hitchcock characters, which was super fun. Oh Jesus, what the fuck? So we watched, oh my god, it was too much. So yeah, we watched Stranger on a Train and Rope, and like, I don't know if you heard about like how the Babadook became like a queer horror character because Netflix like had accidentally categorized it in LGBTQ, which was super funny. So like everyone started making all these memes about like the Babadook like voguing and shit. I can't vogue. Ignore that. So there was like a lot of like crossover with queer stuff, and so we were just sort of like being entertained by this thing. And yeah, so we just got super into them, and so this spooky season-ish, we also have been watching a lot of horror movies. So the last like few nights, we watched The Conjuring and The Conjuring Part 2, and I didn't realize there was sort of a whole canon of the Conjuring series. So like Annabelle, the creepy doll, and The Nun, super creepy. Those are all like kind of in the same like universe. So we've been like making our way through those. Those are wild. Like if you're not, like there are some horror movies that like have fewer, I guess like jump scares. And this one, I mean, it's pretty like cool to think about like the way that they have done like the sound design and whatnot, because basically they're trying to keep you on edge the entire time. Because usually like if you're watching a horror movie, you know, get that and you're like, ugh, and then it, you know, you have that adrenaline rush. But this one, it like keeps, it like doesn't release the horror. So you're like waiting, they're doing all the typical, you know, horror movie things where you're like turning around a corner and you keep expecting something to happen, and then there's like a little thing that happens and then it like goes to the next scene and you're like still on edge. So like the whole movie you're kind of like that. Sort of counterintuitively as someone with anxiety, that I like love that. Apparently a lot of people with anxiety are really into horror, and yeah, it tracks for me. So yeah, we've been really enjoying doing, you know, picking like a double feature on the weekends and, you know, stuff like that. We also watched for the first time the first Candyman movie, and I'm hoping that we can see the new one. I'm not quite ready to go to a theater, but yeah, I'm very, very excited to see how the second one, or you know, the one that they just released, that Jordan Peele did, what it's like. So yeah, you know, that's been fun, especially now that Love Island is coming to a close, which is another thing that we binge as it comes out. I actually had to take a break. Too much Love Island happening, and I was like, okay, if you want me to finish this with you, I need like a week break, and then we can, you know, finish and watch the finale. Which they're like, what? But these people just are driving me up a wall at this point. It's true. Don't come for me. Okay, so the last thing that I'm going to do is add So you saw me like unpackage the thing earlier. I'm gonna take this and make one of these. Like, I don't remember what this knot is officially called. Super easy knot. Just like a little latch. Like this. Okay. And then I'm gonna tie. And this will probably hold for, I don't know, 5 seconds outside. But that's what I'm gonna do. Okay, and then there she is. My wreath. Okay, I think I'm gonna go put it outside and take some like final image shots. But I think I would rate myself like maybe like I should rate myself tomorrow when I'm not kind of over it. I think I'm gonna rate myself like 6 out of 10 pumpkins.
Woo!
It could be better. I don't hate it. And I will put it on my porch. So like 6 out of 10. Not so bad. Right? Let me know what you think about my wreath. Let me know if I inspired you to go pick up materials to go make a wreath. I will link some of the stuff that I used down below in the description. And yeah, remember, think of a name for this series. Craft, chisme craft, make do, I don't know, make something. Thanks, I hate it. I don't know. But think of some names, put it down below, and whoever, you know, comments with a name that ends up winning will get a little something from me in the mail. So anyway, stick around to see sort of the final shots, see it paired with the little rug that Kay and I made, and let me know what you think of my wreath. Or maybe don't. I'll see you next time. Bye.
What are we supposed to do? Paper bag. Was this paper? I thought it was a plastic bag for a second. It looks really cool.
It took you a long time to get to that.
I didn't know you were just gonna do the half wreath thing.
Yeah.
But it looks really good. What?
Thanks.
Yeah, it's super cool. You use glue stick.
Yeah.
So professional.